Hi everyone, welcome to The Positivity Boss, a channel for ambitious young people creating the life of their dreams through personal development. Today we are talking all about how to rewrite your old stories, and it's a big mindset trick. So we're going to learn all about that, but before we do, make sure to subscribe to this channel for new videos coming out every Tuesday and Saturday, and give this video a big thumbs up, and make sure to jump into the Young Bosses Collective Facebook group where we all keep each other accountable for our goals, and we just have a supportive community of other young entrepreneurs. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So what is your story? For a lot of us, our story is a set of subconscious beliefs that we have about ourselves, about how our life functions and how we behave in our lives and what type of success we allow ourselves to have. Our story is essentially our identity and what we see ourselves as. So if we have limiting beliefs in our story, then that can really come out and show up in our lives as well. Alright, so to give you an example of a story, one of the stories that I used to tell myself is that it's hard for me to find a group of friends. And this was just a story that I would tell myself, based on being bullied and some of my past experiences. And this was just part of my story. Like, it was like, okay, this is who I am. And, it's just a fact for me that it's hard for me to find a group of friends. And maybe I'm friends with some people sometimes. And it's just hard for me to have that stable, supportive community. And this was something that I would constantly be telling myself over and over again. I would think about it, I would wonder about it. The question I would ask is, why can't I find a group of friends? And this just became part of my story. It became a part of how I saw myself in the world. And in reality, this was actually just a lie that I would tell myself. And the thing with your story is that once you have a story, you look for ways to make it true. You're always looking for ways to prove yourself right. So you're going out and you're maybe putting yourself in a situation where people might ignore you, for example, if we're sticking with this example. Or you're doing things to just kind of attract that into your life. Because we do everything we can to attract the story that our subconscious mind has written about us. So if our story is that we are surrounded by love and support, if we are protected, if we are happy, if that's your story, then you're going to attract that into your life. But if your story is, this is who I am and I can't find friends and I never have time and no one wants to buy from me and every time I post no one wants to like it, and if that's your story, then that's what you're attracting into your life. But if your story is, I'm powerful, I'm helpful, people like having me in their lives, people like being my friend, people enjoy being around me and inviting me to things. Oh man, that was a big story I used to have. I used to think, no one ever wants to invite me to anything, I'm always left out. And this was just a story, right? So the lesson of this video is that we have these stories that we have in our minds, and maybe they come from childhood, maybe they come from something someone might have said to you at some point, and it just gets stuck in your head and you think that this is your life, and you believe that story, and that's just how you think about yourself. But when you switch your story, and this can be done actually in a simple way, which I'm going to get to quickly, once you switch your story, then that new story can become your reality. That new positive, empowering story can become a part of who you are. And how can you do this? Well, the first thing you should do is really make a list of all the stories that you have about yourself, and stories you have about your self-worth, stories you have about money, stories you have about your friendships, your relationships. Relationships is a big one, because if you're constantly thinking, I always attract the wrong people into my life, then that's going to be your reality, because that's what you're reaffirming to yourself every day. So I want you to make a list of all of them, right? And I want you to look, and I want you to see which ones are completely lies, right? Which ones are false. And I want you to just cross them out and write a new story. If your story was, for example, people don't want to be friends with me, I can't attract a group of friends, then your new story is, I'm grateful that I'm surrounded by a group of loving, supportive people that would love to be my friends. And that can be your story. And that's the beauty about life, everyone. It's that you can write these stories and you can change the story that you have right now, because all life is a collection of stories if you really think about it, because we just live in the present. The past is gone. So whatever you choose to believe about the past is your truth, and whatever you choose to believe about that becomes your present, and therefore becomes your future, right? So if you want your future to be different than your past, then you need to look at the set of stories that you're believing about yourself and about your life and really shift them. So that is what I'm going to leave you with. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below what topic you want me to make a video on next, and I will see you next time. Bye.